company is Harris and Ford. Founded it in 1994, actually started January 11th, 1994. What Harris and Ford is a distributor of primarily food, pharmaceutical, cosmetic ingredients. Some of the major customers of Harris and Ford would be companies like Kraft, Coca-Cola, Abbott Laboratories, certainly Procter & Gamble, General Mills. All those would be pretty large customers of Harris and Ford.
Yeah, the camp got started because I had this wife, Tanya, who came to me with this great idea about having a camp. We didn't have any money. We were just kids, newly married at 22 and 19 years old. But as a youth, camp really impacted her life. So she said to me, Tim, we ought to sponsor a camp. We got together and we did. The first camp that we had was the only time we got a donation. And we had Kroger's, they donated a 5-pound ham. We reached at that camp about 70 to 75 people. Most of them came just by word of mouth, by phone call. Now, camp has grown by word of mouth. And now we reach about 800 kids a year from 29 states plus Canada. We've seen the impact that we had on kids just working with them for 1 week out of the year. Again, God just birthed it in us that what we do for a week at camp in Zanesville, Ohio, that we ought to really spend our time and our resources doing that on an everyday basis. And so we prayed about it. We got with several other folks and said, hey, this is what we feel compelled to do. And as a result of that, we started Turning Point Family Worship Center. Bought, starting out, 10 acres. Later on, we bought the property across the street on the southwest corner. Then we bought the property across the street on the northwest corner. And then we add what used to be the Korean Rock Church, those 7 acres. And so now we have over 20 acres here. We first built the gymnasium because we needed a multi-purpose facility serving the youth, but at the same time, the main focus being a church. After that, we bought what used to be the liquor store across the street. And it's pretty, it was pretty shocking to some folks when they would stumble in, drunk, under the influence, and they walk in and they look and they're looking for the alcohol bottles, and they walk in and they see it's a Christian bookstore now. That we knew was on a temporary basis, and our goal again was to help folks. So we put our heads together, prayed about it, and we came up with the idea of doing the food and clothing pantry across the street. And it's a very busy place several times a week, providing both those things, food and clothing, to many folks in this neighborhood. We wanted to reach primarily the neighborhood. So of the over 200 children that attend our school, only about 31 of them are actually members of this church. They're kids from the neighborhood. They're also kids who, by word of mouth, it got out, what a great program that is run here. And it is, and not because I'm involved, but it is. Our kids are a couple grade levels ahead of the public schools. What we do ministry-wise is so important that I sold part of my company to actually buy the land that this sits on. And so here we are. It was worth it to me because I look around and see the hundreds of kids that we're impacting. And so, yeah, we've not had the support from foundations in the city, but it's still been worthwhile, and I'd do it all over again. I think it's time for Harrison and Ford to look at some acquisitions, and we are, and both onshore and offshore. So that's down the road. We built the gym because we wanted to give back, have a safe place where folks could come. Okay, we started the school because we wanted to give back. And then Tanya and I started sitting back a few months ago and said, what next? We're building a 36-unit complex on our property, on the north side of our property. And that is geared towards single parents. We know it'll be mostly single mothers. It's geared towards single parents where we will provide a place for them to live. It will be funded by our program. It will be a class place from standards of living, but also in the center of it, we will have a daycare that operates 24 hours a day. What makes it nice is to have an advocate. Everybody needs somebody working with them and working on their behalf. And to come into Indiana and have the Indiana Regional Minority Supply Development Council, to have them working and sponsoring events like the one today, where you have hundreds and hundreds of businesses and hundreds of minority companies that all can come to the same place and find out where there's fits. That's a benefit to a company like Harrison Ford. Before I started my business, you broke down walls and you unlocked doors. You tore down fences that would allow a company like Harrison Ford to get an audience with the Krafts, the Coca-Cola, the Abbott Labs, the Procter & Gamble's. And I say, for that, I say to you, thank you for your work and your being an advocate for Harrison Ford and companies like ours. Thank you.